The owner of Neighborhood Restoration is planning to sell 925 units in the next couple of months. I have resided in one of the units for almost 7 years. And if developers get an opportunity to buy these units, at least 3,000 tenants, including myself, will be subjected to displacement. Let's not forget the mass displacement of the residents of Penn Wynn in 2017 and Penn Town in 2022-2023. I want to remain in my home, as do other residents, and that is why we're asking the city to purchase these properties with the outlook of permanent affordability. Thank you all.
Thank you, Frederica. Now see, what we have to keep in mind is a simple question. You can never let the question leave the forefront of your mind. What happens if these units eventually get sold? Will your property taxes go up? Come on, answer that, people. This is not rhetorical stuff I'm telling you. I want you to look at the reality of what can happen. See, the two letters in life that make a difference for such a small word, if. Now let's examine that. What happens if these properties get sold to a New York Development Corporation? Your taxes go up. What if the renters can no longer afford to rent where they're staying? What happens to your children if these properties change and all kind of new codes come about? If you can fill in any question you want with those two letters, IF. If. So you must consider what will happen if you don't fight with us and for yourselves at the same time. Keep that in mind, people. This is not just about having a rally. Rallies are for things that people did in the 60s. We're not having a good time. This is not Woodstock. This is about placing stock in you to keep you going to the neighborhood. Our next presenter, and if I can add this truth teller to his resume, we are going to hear from Clayton Woolley, a 1PA Southwest Rising Sun, long-time, lifelong member of the city and West Philadelphia. If you will step to the podium, we'll be glad to have you.
Great to see everybody here. Give yourselves a hand. As mentioned, my name is Clayton Woolley. I am a West Philadelphia native, born and raised, as that famous song said. Graduate of West Philly High, where my speed boys and speed girls at. And I am a member of the founding committee for West and Southwest Rising. It's really important to give back to the community, so it's so great to see everyone here. I'm here to talk about the impact of community housing and taking care of one another, because that's what it's really about. That's why we're here, right? As a West Philadelphia native who's also a homeowner, I have to say, as many people have said today, we need to be together. It's about more than just the renters. It's about more than just the homeowners. This is a very crucial time in this city's history. If we don't stand up right now, we're going to see that slope continue to slide until people are sliding on the streets. And that's not going to happen, right? Right? That's what's up. That's what's up. We know that when they have the potential to take these 925 properties away and sell them to a big real estate mogul, what it's going to do is it's going to jack up the prices both for the renters, but it's also going to jack up the prices on the homeowners, right? We've seen our property taxes go up tremendously in the last decade, am I right? Look, this isn't about diversity. I'm thankful that I grew up around diversity, just like many of you have growing up in West Philly and in Southwest Philly. As an example, I'll say my next door neighbor was an older white lady with a poodle named Sadie. I didn't mean that to rhyme, but it did. Who was a retired teacher from Girls High on one side, and my next door neighbor on the other side was a biracial couple who had gotten married in the 1950s. So this isn't about diversity being a problem. This is about gentrification and greed being a problem, all right? We don't need it and we don't want it and we have to fight against it, okay? Let's just name it out. People who grew up in this neighborhood are often not able to afford this neighborhood anymore. And you can see it in people's faces, the frustration that they have, knowing that they have to work an extra job to afford rent, knowing that they have to decide whether they want to eat in a dignified way or go and get something from the dollar store to feed their kids, knowing that maybe they're going to have to decide whether they can actually make it to work because transportation costs are getting high. And we definitely know that the gas prices aren't getting lower anytime soon, right? Affordable housing has been very beneficial to the community, and it needs to stay that way. We need a mayor that is going to be willing to buy these properties and spend more time working with the communities and less time bringing in folks from a certain administration that many of us want to see go away. To be nice. If we don't stand for people now, we are going down, and we're going down fast. It's really important that we make sure that we keep our rates at an affordable rate, allow the folks who have been in these homes to keep them as homes. I didn't say a house, I said a home. People have been building communities, building lives in these neighborhoods for many years. And the more that we take away from that, the more you see that kind of flitter away. You know, like the Avengers in War games or Infinity Wars where they just like sift off away. We don't need that. We need to keep our community members here. All right? So, long story short, I can talk forever. I really can. But I hope everyone understands that we need to bind together both as tenants of rental properties and homeowners. We need to work together to tell the mayor and the rest of city council, because there should be like, what, 6 to 8 more people on this side. I don't know whose side they're on, but it doesn't sound like they're on the people's side, right? Let's not wait until it affects us to fight for each other. As Frederick Douglass said, and I'm paraphrasing, we are only as strong as our weakest links. We need to lift everyone up, not tear people down. Thank you very much.
Hey, fight!
Housing is a human right. Fight. Housing is a human right. Fight. Housing is a human right. Fight.
Well, thank you, Clayton, for the all-inspiring speech. It's so many words that you could use to describe what he put before us. But the best word I can come up with is inspiring. Do not just take this like this on it. This isn't speeches, people. This is to motivate you to act. Act with a purpose. This is not even to be viewed. We're not TV. We're here to help you, to fight with you, fight for you, and fight from victory. It's not about for, it's about from. Remember one thing. Keep it in mind every time you think about this and you don't want to act. Remember these words. United we stand. Help me out. United we stand. One more time and give it all the passion from down south in you. United we stand. United we fall. I would like to call to the podium our next speaker. Now, at this point, I'd like to say, because I am a Christian, I belong to Christian Stronghold Church over on 47th and Lancaster Avenue. I've been there for a lot of years. I don't even want to talk about how many, but I'll just say almost as long as my youngest child, and he'll be 38 next month. And my next ones are 46 and 48, so I've been around for a while. I've had all the arguments with children growing up and raising them in part of this neighborhood as well. So it is important to say, hey, Papa, where'd you grow up? I can tell them, it's still around. See, there's those 2 letters again, I-F. I don't want to say if it's still around. I'm going to say where I grew up is still there. I want to change it from IF to IS is still there. Okay? Now, this is where I believe in my faith. God is in this. He knows the outcome before we even had gotten to this point. We have our next speaker, faith leader, Tim Emmett. Where is he? He's the pastor of Calvary United Methodist Power Interfaith Leader. Please step to the faith, to the pulpit. See, I'm so into what God is saying. I said step to the faith. But share your faith with us and what God is telling you to tell the people.
Good afternoon, y'all. As Carlos said, I'm Reverend Tim Emmett, pastor, and before that, member for going on 30 years at Calvary United Methodist Church, just a few blocks away at 48th Street in Baltimore. I'm here on behalf of our congregation, made up primarily of folks who live in West, Southwest, who rent and who own homes here. I'm here on behalf of Power Interfaith, many of you may know, a collective of congregations throughout the city. It's been around for 15 years throughout southeastern central Pennsylvania in this fight with 1PA. Been organizing for social, racial, ecological justice and for communities that work for all, right? Emphasis on all. The ongoing fight for a city and state that truly works for all, which necessarily includes the fight for affordable housing, is one that we share together. You've heard the speakers share that. None of us are home, right? None of us are home until all of us are home. So we are here along with 1PA West Southwest Rising, along with current neighborhood tenants, restorations tenants, along with elected officials and other community members, because the uncertainty surrounding the future of neighborhood restorations, more than 900 properties, is not just a practical concern for the more than 3,000 of our neighbors who are living with that uncertainty, who are facing fears, very real fears about being displaced, and I hear you, Carlos, not displaced, kicked out of their homes. And it's not just a practical concern for the wider neighborhood, because we know, as Carlos and others have said, that if these properties get sold to developers, private developers, it will not only displace thousands of tenants, but also cause housing prices to rise even further than they already have. We are here, friends, because this is a moral and ethical concern. Because housing, safe, habitable, comfortable, and affordable, yes, affordable housing is a human right. No one is home until all of us are home. Philly is already facing an affordable housing crisis. There is already not anywhere near enough affordable, much less safe, habitable, comfortable housing available in the city. So it goes without saying that we cannot afford to lose affordable properties to the market. And that reality, of course, is compounded by a spiraling overall affordability crisis in this city and in this country. And all of this we know. Let me say it, you all know this, the inevitable result of a free market, capitalist, extractive, racist economy designed for privatized profit of the few at the expense of the collective well-being of the many people and the planet, with no concern for the common good. So friends, we are in this fight together. We have to be in it together, and that we has to include our government, our elected officials. Be sure to vote on May 19th. Philly's monthly median rent continues to increase while median income continues to decrease. And that, oh, by the way, in a state and a country where the legal government-mandated minimum wage remains a criminal $7.25 an hour. Shame is right. Renters are spending more and more of their incomes on housing. More and more renters are getting priced out of their homes and their neighborhoods. More and more Philadelphians are having to make impossible choices that no one should have to make, right? That no one should have to make, that pit basic needs against each other. Roughly a third of Philly renters and more than 15% of homeowners spend more than 50% 50% of their income on housing. 50%. We know that neighborhoods in West and Southwest are among the hardest hit in the city by the most recent increase in property values. And that includes King Sessing. I ran an apartment a block away. I can almost see it from here. But then King Sessing saw the highest increase in property values, also at 50%. And we know that as property values go, so go taxes, and so goes rent. And while we celebrate efforts from the city, and we do, to address overall housing issues, including recent passage of the Safe Healthy Homes Act, strengthening renter protections and landlord accountability, we know that there is so much more that needs to be done. So today we, from Calvary, from Power, join the call of our neighbors to say that more can be done right here and right now, beginning with neighborhood restorations properties. We join the call of our neighbors demanding that the city and state step up, assume their responsibility to step in and ensure that these properties remain permanently affordable. And to demand that the tenants who are interested in doing so and purchasing their homes be able to do so affordably. And stay in the neighborhoods where many of them have lived most or all of their lives.
That's right. Just say pretty much.
We know that thousands more properties in the city, as Councilwoman Gauthier said, are set to lose their affordability designations within the next decade. But our fight for affordable housing continues right here and right now. None of us are home until all of us are home. None of us are home until all of us are home. Housing is a human right. Housing is a human right. Fight, fight, fight.
Housing is a human right. Fight, fight, fight. Housing is a human right. Fight.